Hello and welcome back, guys, to the Sports Doyen. Today we are covering the Indian Super League for you guys, and I've got two really good ISL fans with me today. We've got Atreyo Bhattacharya and Shubhaditya Bose, two people who are supporting ATK Mohan Bagan and East Bengal respectively, and we saw a fantastic Bengal derby a few days back, which is where we want to start because there's nowhere else that you'd rather want to start. Coming to you, Atreyo, first. Obviously, your team won the game. ATK Mohan Bagan, an impressive win for you in the first ever Kolkata derby in the ISL. How are your initial feelings about the game, and how much impressed were you about the entire match in itself?
Yeah, so pretty much impressed with the overall performance. But I have to say this, East Bengal shocked a lot of us with the way they performed. They got very less time, but still, in the first half, they were like dominating the midfield possession and they were creating chances. Uh, they were pretty good in the first half. But second half, Hawa came with his natural substitutions and Roy Krishna, being Roy Krishna, found the net and Manvi scored a great goal, as you all know. So it was a pretty solid defensive performance from the team. And the forwards are still not 100%. Roy Krishna is not 100%, but I think he'll score more as the day progresses. But pretty happy. It's a derby, so obviously the tension is always high. But I think the players lived up to the expectation and did pretty well.
Yeah, I think if you're a ATK fan, surely it was a splendid day for you guys. And coming to Shubhaditya, Shubh, how do you feel about the game? I felt East Bengal really impressed in a way in the first half. It was surprising for many people, including the commentators, including myself, and I think Adreo mentioned it as well that they did really well in the first half. But at the end of the day, we just felt that they were a little late in terms of the preparation for obvious reasons. But how did you feel overall after the game? The positiveness might certainly be there with you.
Yeah, certainly. I think the first point which Atro mentioned was that we got very little time to prepare. So if you look at this ATK Mohun Bagan side, obviously a very formidable side, but you also have to keep in mind that this side wasn't built like in a month or so like us. This is the same team, almost the same team which won the ISL last year as well. And considering all that, I think with just a month of practice and very little time to prepare to select the team as well, so considering all that factors, I think yes, it is a positive start for us. What I would say is that we dominated the possession, we had a lot of the ball, but what is missing, and this has been a characteristic of East Bengal for a long time, is that we lack a cutting edge, we lack that creative spark, and I think we need a striker because I'm like obviously it is just the first match and you can't be overly critical because your team hasn't got any match practice and whatever. But I think overall we still need a creative spark, and I think the seventh foreigner will do us a world of good.
Yeah, and sure, coming to that point of a striker, we didn't see JJ play, and there was a lot of expectation that after that big injury haul that he's had over the last season and a half, that we'll get to see JJ. We obviously didn't. So what did you make of that? What do you think where JJ can really help you guys? And what did you make of the first management game for Robbie Fowler in India?
Robbie Fowler, I think most of Robbie Fowler's substitutions, which were reactionary, I think they were like, if you see the substitution of Abhishek Ambekar, he had to come in for Rana Ghorami because Rana Ghorami was caught up with Roy Krishna. He wasn't being able to handle Roy Krishna. So I think these substitutions, like when you go into the game, you don't plan, I will bring this defender for that at 60 minutes. This you do when one defender fails. So I think it will be a bit harsh to judge Robbie Fowler substitution from the first game. We'll see from tomorrow. But from what I think, or from what the reports are, that JJ is not fit to play 90 minutes yet. He obviously had a long injury, but I think we will see more of JJ from the next game. If not from the start, I think he can be a crucial player because you see JJ, when you compare him to Balwant, irrespective of the work they both do, JJ has a better strike rate. Like, he has a better conversion rate.
Yeah.
So I think JJ can, even in like 20-30 minute spells, he can be a crucial player for us. We will look forward to that.
Yeah, and obviously Balwant missed that one chance, didn't he? I think to score.
Yeah, the one which he hit from the right
And
foot. That
yeah,
one actually, if like the commentators were also saying, if he goes with the left, then it won't go that wide. So I think it was a lack of judgment. But then again, it all zeroes down to the thing that first game, and first of all, we are happy that we are playing ISL and not I League. So overall, I won't be
yeah.
too harsh on them.
Yeah, and congratulations to ATK Mohun Bagan. I felt on the night they completely deserved to win the way they played, but East Bengal really made a very, very good game of it. And that brings me to another topic which I think we wanted to touch upon is we have seen Antonio Habas over the years in the ISL employ his counter-attacking tactics, and a certain Portuguese manager reminds us of that every now and again in the English leagues. But in the ISL, this is something that has it's been in its own way, it's been unique, and I felt this is one of the things that has made ATK win this multiple titles, and something that probably, considering the conditions in the ISL, the amount of games that are going to be intensely increasing as time comes by, and we're going to see players being tired, and also probably you might not get that extreme quality towards the end because of injuries or tiredness, or there's some other issues that might come in the squad considering COVID is still there. So do you feel, Atreo, the ATK style, the counter-attacking style of football is something that teams might look to employ in the future, which might be successful as well?
Yeah, so Habas always stresses upon this tactics of playing a balanced football, where there is a strong base of defense. He maintains a good base of defense, and then he like sometimes plays long balls from the midfield to on rushing Roy Krishna, David Williams. Sometimes Edu Garcia is there. On the left wing, there is a Suicide. He's injured, unfortunately,
Yeah,
but he controls the tempo. So this season, because of the short preseason, teams are finding it difficult to control the possession, and there is not that much penetrative movement, which I'm seeing from the teams which are playing possessional football, like FC Goa, Mumbai. They are not scoring that many goals. They are not even taking that many shots. So
yeah,
I think the ATK Mohun Bagan has done reasonably well in the first two games, but I think the players' fitness is also a big issue in the styles changing, because uh, with more matches being played, the players will gain their fitness, and you will see more possession football coming into play. Because I was seeing Roy Krishna's XG, and it was very low. He turned two half chances into two goals,
yeah.
which is amazing. But at one point of time, that will catch up. So ATK Mohun Bagan needs to create more chances if they want to win the next matches. Uh, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, that was just Roy Krishna, wasn't he? He's just made it a habit over the years of converting half chances into goals. We saw a lot and a lot of that last season, especially. And this season, again, it's been good to see the two goals which he has scored. Sure, what do you make of this thing? This counter-attacking style is something that probably might develop, or we might see possession-based teams more, like, teams are trying to develop in the ISL this season.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing that you bring up the certain Portuguese things, the Portuguese manager actually, because if you see that the team of that Portuguese manager and ATK Mohan Bagan, you will find two similarities. Firstly, Tottenham Hotspur are sitting at the top of the Premier League, and ATK Mohan Bagan are sitting at the top of ISL. The second thing is that you can play counter attack football when you know you have got players who have the quality, who can capitalize on counter attacks. So what happens with Spurs is that they have got Harry Kane, they have got Heung-min Son. So these two players are of supreme quality. So they score lots of goals from counter attacks, and the same is for ATK Mohan Bagan. You see, like Roy Krishna, the first goal which he scored against us against SC East Bengal, you can criticize that Scott Neville didn't block the
Yeah,
shot, but he is standing back because he doesn't expect the shot. and
Yeah.
neither does Devjit Majumdar. And this is like the magic of Roy Krishna, that he converts half chances into goals. So yeah, I think counter-attack football you can play, but when you know you have got the players who can capitalize on counter-attacks. If your players they score one in five clear-cut chances they get, then counter-attack football might not be as fruitful as you want.
Yeah. So coming back to your two clubs, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. Atreya, obviously, with the name in itself, ATK Mohun Bagan, it must feel a little different. Obviously, a franchise and a club with a history of more than 100 years, and similarly with East Bengal, there has been this involvement as well. So, how do you guys feel, as a fan or and as a ardent football fan as well in India? Because we've seen a lot of clubs in the recent past, including my club from my city, Mumbai FC, that really went downhill. There have been lots of clubs in Punjab, in Kerala, and other parts of India that really haven't that weren't able to live up because of the financial mismanagement and the general management issues as well. So in that sense, you guys seem to have that little sense of protection, but it still must feel different, like Atriya.
Yeah, so as a fan, obviously, when another a prefix comes in front of Mohan Bagan, because as a fan, Mohan Bagan is like everything for the fans. So everything so when ATK came in front, it was more like it was hard to swallow. But with ATK came their good management, the players. I think the management which Sanjeev Goenka and others have done over the past years, I think it's a lot of improvement over what we have had at our club. We have seen every odd year we have seen issues with player wages and all, and managers being sacked unceremoniously without getting much time to prove. So that thing I expect to go away. I think that the club is now in a more safe hand, but at the same time, that ATK thing still bothers a lot of people, and it will keep bothering. But I think it's like when you get something, you have to be satisfied with whatever you have got. So that's what it is.
Yeah, it's more like a give and take, right? You get the good parts, and you also get the ATK even with it. So some things are difficult to swallow, but at least you're able to swallow them now. Shiva, what do you feel about again, historic clubs with franchises? What is your take on it?
Yeah, see, like so from an East Bengal point of view, SC East Bengal and ATK Mohun Bagan are quite different. Like if you see from what I like, I've been an East Bengal fan for years, and previously we were called Kingfisher East Bengal. Then obviously came Quest East Bengal, and then it is SC East Bengal. So as far back as I can remember, we were not we were never only East Bengal. Like Mohun Bagan was only Mohun Bagan after McDowell Mohun Bagan era. So our name with an investor, this obviously this feels like normal. This is not a big issue. Obviously, this would have been an issue, like yeah, taking a slight jibe at Mohan Bagan. But this would have been an issue if this would have been an issue if we have been like say Hyderabad FC East Bengal or something like that. Obviously, I think for Mohan Bagan fans, it might have been a bit strange that your name is with ATK. So if you still see, we are founded in 1920, and if you see ATK Mohun Bagan, you'll see they're founded in 2020. So it is like obviously a new club is being founded. So somewhere down the line, yes, you retain the colors, you retain the emblem, you retain logo and everything. But I think somewhere down the line, it must obviously Mohun Bagan fans won't say it, but I think somewhere down the line it feels strange.
Yeah, it definitely does. But one thing that is not at all, strange at all for any fans here in Indian football is the jibe that Shua just took on ATK. Mohun Bagan being founded in 2020. So on that
Yeah.
note, we'll probably move on from the two clubs that we were talking about and come on to some impressive clubs rather apart from these two who have done really well. I think Hyderabad FC being one of them. I think have shocked a lot of people with the way they've approached games, the way they have maintained possession. They have played the ways out of tight areas, and the way obviously they haven't been as potent, but Aridane seems to be leading this team to some good success in this season's ISL, and probably one of the teams who are probably said that might finish bottom again. they seem to be doing pretty well for themselves. So, coming to you first, Shua here. What do you think about Hyderabad and a lot of things that didn't work out for them? Obviously, with Albert Roca having moved to Barcelona, and then the entire fiasco that started there just didn't seem to end. But they seem to have produced some results on the pitch.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that some people stated that they'll finish at the bottom of the table because I am one of them actually.
Oh,
So
I am
I
one
had
of
a
them as well.
yeah. So I had this conversation before the start of ISL, and I told someone that you have a look at. I was doing some teams profiles for some teams, and I had this look at this Hyderabad FC team sheet, and I saw, oh my God, they are in trouble. Like, who is gonna play? Who is gonna score goals for them except Aridane Santana? What about their defense? But they have been extremely surprise. They are a surprise element, I would say. And Aridane Santana has not been a surprise element, which is the most important thing. The surprise elements has been their Indian players, haven't they? Like if you look
Yeah.
at Akash Mishra, if you look at Hitesh Sharma and Liston Colasso, they have been brilliant. So I think from one Roca to another, Hyderabad FC's management, yeah, they are doing really well, and thanks to their Indian recruits. You see, like the difference. Every team can buy great foreigners, but the difference it ultimately boils down to the 6 Indian players who are in your team. And if you say me now, Hyderabad FC did a lot of twisting and turning last season, but if you see how they are playing now, I think they are set for the season. They don't need to make any change to their 11.
Yeah, definitely. And Atreya, we did come to players like Liston Colasso that he mentioned there, Akash Mishra as well, but also think players like Ashish Rai, Chinglen Sana Singh, who won the Hero of the Match award in the last game against Bengaluru. Also, Nikhil Pujari, Nazare as well as impressed. I feel entirely the way these guys have gelled as a unit has really looked good. But in particular, talking about the star man himself, Aridane Santana, because the way I think he's led the line has been, pretty good to watch because I think he's been there in both boxes. I think he's been a presence in midfield when required, when the team seems to be a little on the back foot. So how do you make of him and how crucial is he going to be this season?
Yeah, so Aridane has been the man for Hyderabad FC this season, and I think he'll score a lot of more goals. The main thing is it's a physical stature. He's very physically well built, as we all know, and he's a proper unit
I
for
feel he
any
looks more
defender
fitter
to
as well
defend.
this season.
Yeah. He shields the ball really well. He can release Nazari on the wings, Nikhil Pujari on the wings and get back on the crosses. So pretty impressed. Last season I was impressed, and this season even more. He's proving himself to be a proven goal scorer in the ISL. But one thing which concerns me about Hyderabad is last match Joel Chianisi was
Yeah.
taken off due to a ankle injury, and a few minutes later, Luis Sastry was also taken off due to a hamstring injury. So two of the foreigners were taken off. Still, they managed to draw that game. But the thing is, will they be fit for the next game? If they aren't, then the Indian players, like Shubhadipta mentioned, will be very important. Like you said, Nazari, Pujari, Nikhil Pujari, then Ashish Rai, then
I think Hitesh
Akash
Sharma also did
Mishra.
well
These
after
guys
he
will be
came back.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Hitesh Sharma. These guys will be important because two of your main players who play around Santana, if they miss say a couple of games due to injury, two of your foreigners, it will be pretty difficult for Roca to find more people. So that is what concerns me. That the service what Santana gets, because he's as good at the service he gets. So he needs balls to score goals, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to say.
Yeah, and coming from that to a little bit of a rivalry that we saw recently on the pitch with FC Goa and Northeast United managers. Obviously, two managers again who I felt have impressed with their way they want to play football this season in the ISL. But I think it was something else that caught the headlines today. There was a little physical confrontation that the two guys had, and obviously you saw an FC Goa player take a little bit on Gerard Noose, and There was obvious physical confrontation between Appiah, Gerard, and Gerard Noose and the Goa managers as well. So how do you guys look at these two managers? Obviously, they have created the headlines for the wrong reasons today. But personally, I felt this was good to see because you need that kind of an intensity in the ISL, which I felt somewhere down the line between the managerial. You would say there have been a lot of managerial confrontations in other leagues that have been famous, and those are the superstar managers, you would rather say. But these are two really young managers, Juan Ferrando as well as Gerard Noose, and just beginning the way they have with this style of football and with the aggression, is that what the ISL really needs right now? Because I think for me personally, it felt good to see that kind of intensity. Yeah, sure. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I think like you can pick it up from their post-match interviews as well. Like they are not someone who will hide something back. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think they have been extremely impressive how their teams have set up. Especially for Northeast, you see, Goa has. I can understand that they have lost a lot of players to Mumbai City FC, but they still you expect them to do well. But especially for Northeast, how they are setting up and how they are playing on the front foot in every game. They are not the old Northeast who used to hold back and pray for a draw. They are going for the kill, and this is like a surprise to me. What also is like a surprise to me is that Gerard Noose isn't someone who will hand you the captaincy because of your name. You see,
Yeah.
Apuya captain the team today. So yeah, he has a lot of trust in his young players, and he is setting up the team really well. So I think Northeast can be a like a surprise package in this team. They can even. I'm not saying that they have been like over. I'm over the moon with their performances, but given the team that Northeast has, this is similar with Hyderabad. Like you look at some teams and
Yeah.
you don't think that they can uh, pose a threat, but I think yeah, like after 3 games, they are looking a team that can make it to the semis.
Yeah, I think even when we did our video pre ISL about Northeast United, I think there were a lot of Northeast United fans who didn't feel, that they were really excited about the season. But it's taken a twist for them in so many ways. It's good to see the way Gerard Noose has managed the Northeast side. I think they look the front foot side, which you expect a lot of these with the Northeast players. And I think Apuya you talked about, and we'll be talking about a few more good Indian players later. Atreyo, what do you make of these two lads? And obviously not a really healthy, a healthy fight that they had, but it was good. Obviously, the media decides not to make something good out of it, but that's pretty much expected. We like masala here in India, so that's totally fine. But apart from that, how do you think, especially Juan Ferrando, because losing so many crucial players to Mumbai, losing their manager to Mumbai, obviously they had to make a lot of changes. But I think Edu Badia and the way he has been very vocal in the way he wanted Goa to play this season. And I know they haven't won a game yet; they've drawn 2 games. One which they should have rather won against Bengaluru. But how do you make of their performance so far this season?
I think performance till now, there is nothing to drive home about. I think they have been decent, but they can be a lot better. I still don't see them, that penetrative instinct is missing. Today they played a pretty much attacking lineup with Ivan in defense alongside Ivan Gonzalez, and they played Noguera, Ortiz, and Brandon together. Brandon started the first game of the season. Brandon gave an assist from the wings to Angulo. But
Yeah,
again, it boils down to that fact that there is no penetrative movement. You need your players like Noguera, you need Edu Bedia to make those runs, pick those passes when Angulo is running. But you need to pick those passes. If you don't give Angulo service, he will not score. Today he got one service, he scored. He's a quality striker. Uh, if you want to forget Koro and if you want Angulo to be the main man, you have to give him service, which
yeah,
Hugo Gumus gave last season. You have to you have to give him the ball in areas where he can score. So that is an area there which is very concerning. That penetrative movement is not happening. Also, today's game what Noguera did to Jared Noose was not required, I think,
Yeah,
because he was just going for the ball in the for the throw-in, and he just shoved him. It was not needed. It was
yeah,
just not
definitely.
needed. It was happening between the two coaches. It would have been stayed that way. Why should a player like I did not find it very
Yeah,
very
I think
amusing.
that was a
I think
sad part out of it. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
was.
but I think they have a lot to improve because they are going to play in the Asian Champions League, and I think this kind of football, I think there's not much hope. They need to improve. They need to give more balls to Angulo to score from.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Shua Smile said it all, in terms of when he talked about the AFC Champions League, because obviously FC Goa are going to be India's representatives there. And we really hope that, the penetration that Atreya was talking about is, developed within this Goa side, because we really want this team to do well in the AFC Champions League. And I've had talking about the teams of you two guys. I'm going to move on to my team a little bit now for a couple of minutes, Mumbai City FC. And obviously for me it was a really exciting time when City Football Group took over. Obviously, my allegiance is in Manchester, lie on the other side. But coming here, City Football Group was really welcome and really needed, because I felt it worked for them as well. Mumbai City, they already have the city name within them, so nothing changes in that sense. They brought in a lot of money. They brought in a lot of footballing minds. They brought in Sergio Lopera, who's probably the best manager in the ISL last season. They brought in some really good players from predominantly from Goa. Probably ripped half of the Goa squad apart. But they couldn't get Koro, so they got in Ogbeche, and they got a lot of other good signings as well. Lot of good Indian signings as well, like Vikram Pratap Singh, like Farooq Chaudhary. They got Sai Godard, who I felt looked really good in the last game. But it hasn't been easy, has it, guys? Because it's pretty true that that money doesn't buy you greatness in football, or even doesn't buy you a victory in football many a times. And that was the case with Mumbai in the first game. Definitely, something that definitely a game that shocked a lot of people. And the second game, it took Mumbai a 90th minute penalty to score the winner. So, how do you guys look at Sergio Lobera and the Mumbai City conundrum? Because if I'm not wrong, it took them almost 3 seasons for Goa to start playing exactly the kind of football which Lobera wanted them to play. But even with the players that he has got now, and with the short pre-season that Mumbai or any ISL team for that matter had, how difficult is it going to be for Lobera this season? In spite of everything that's working in Mumbai's favor.
Yeah, so firstly, I think with the City Football Group, I think you will readily welcome City Football Group in the other side of Manchester. I can tell you that. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so money talks at the end of the day. But yeah, I think with the football they have played, see, you can't be too critical after the first game, because obviously you have to keep in mind Ahmed Jahu, who was the pivot in the midfield. So he
Yeah.
was shown a red card. The second game can be, yes, they got a penalty, and that was a stupid penalty to give away. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Like you are such a experienced player, you play for the Indian team, and then you hold your hands like that. Doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
I think how they got really lucky. So I think how
Yeah.
Mumbai played, uh, this is not what we have seen from Lobera. Obviously, we have high expectations from Lobera, but as you rightfully mentioned, it took time in FC Goa, and it will take time in Mumbai City FC. You can't expect Lobera to build Rome in a day or two, so it will take some time. I think they will improve. Lobera still needs to, as you see, they made a lot of changes in the second game from the first game. So
Yeah.
Lobera still needs to find his perfect 11, and they need to give him time. Mumbai, like what have they done in all these years? So it doesn't matter how they have started. I have complete faith in Lobera, and I think they will do what Pep always does for Manchester City.
Sure, it hurt a little bit when you said what have they done all these years, but I will take that with all my heart, because right now we seem to be on a slightly upward curve. But Atreyu, I think coming to the fact which a lot of commentators mentioned at the start of the season in the first game which Mumbai played was, how do Mumbai settle in Ogbeche and Lefondre at the same time? Because I think both of them would want to play centre forward naturally. That's going to be one of the questions when the season keeps on progressing, whether Lefondre would want to keep himself on the right, or will he use Ogbeche more as an impact substitution, or on the same way with Lefondre. But I think Lefondre seemed a little fitter at the start of the season. Again, players like Sai Godard, who played pretty well in the last game, I must say, and I think he played decently in the first game as well against Northeast. So how is this blend of foreign players, including the names which I mentioned? I think Jao will come back and after his suspension is served. Also, Indian players like Bojas, I think they will be pretty key for Mumbai. So coming from the striker issue, how do you think the rest of the squad shapes up for Mumbai this season?
Yeah, so I was reading Lobera's pre-game press conference. So there he clearly mentioned that personnel in my formation is not that much of a factor, but the tactics, but or the philosophy which I play is non-negotiable. So he is obviously looking to stick to the possession style of play, which is absolutely great because people love him for that. But the thing here is Ogbeche in the upfront or Ogbeche wide, or Lefondre upfront or Lefondre wide. That is the question that Lobera needs to ask himself, because here it looks like a double striker may not be the best option.
Yeah,
So one of them have to play wide. So I think if you put Ogbeche wide, he's a good enough guy to play wide and still make those late runs in the box, still score those goals. But I don't see him uh, being in the best shape right now because it has been a short pre-season and with everything like quarantine and all coming in. I think this Mumbai team will need time, and they missed Ahmed Jahu in the second game after the suspension. So his comeback will be a big factor. I think there is a little lack in balance when you see at the foreign players. I think Hernan Santana, putting Hernan Santana out of position in defense in the first game, I don't know. I don't think that was a
yeah,
right move. But it's upon him, it's upon Lovera to do what he wants to do. But I think another defender would have been great because sometimes Paul is also last season Paul scored a lot of goals. So he is also not that kind of defender who likes to only defend. He likes to get forward.
yeah,
He likes to put some headers in during the set pieces. So it puts a lot of pressure on the Indian guys after Goloi and
yeah.
Mandar. Mandar is also attack minded. So I think there's a little lack in balance, but they have got quality players. I think uh, with, with the games coming in, I think they will be only get better with time.
Yeah, I think it just seemed like Lobera has planned for more attacking and more possession based football rather than the overall individual defenders just wanting to be that no nonsense defender in that sense. But lot is yet to come of Mumbai City FC, and we will see that over the season how the season progresses. So all the best to myself and all the Mumbai City FC fans out there anyway. So coming last but not the least to the most impressive part I felt about this ISL was the way conducted themselves on the pitch, the discipline that they have shown in the way they have played. Also, they haven't been shy of putting those moments of flair on the pitch, which is so good to see confident young Indian players do well. A few names that crossed my mind, obviously Anirudh Thapa. I can't speak enough of him. I just love him. Liston Colasso, I think a lot of people. I think Anurag we have here on the TSD channel, and I think he couldn't stop smiling about Liston Colasso because being a Hyderabad fan, he was totally over the moon. Farooq Chaudhary, I feel impressed last season at Jamshedpur, and I think he should do well this season as well. Apuya, you guys talked about, right? Shuaditya, I think he's captained the Northeast team this season. There have been others as well. Albino Gomez for Kerala, I think he was good last night as well. So, and also Atreo mentioned about Sarthak, who I think improved and impressed a little in the first two games. So, coming first to show, what do you make of these young Indian players and the confidence that they seem to have right now to take on any player, any team at any time, and still produce some really good results and being shown by the managers, the faith that they have got from the managers.
Yeah, so in one word, it has been brilliant, but I think you can divide this into two parts. So the first part is the players who have been playing for some time, who are young, still very young, like you mentioned about Farooq Chaudhary, Sarthak Goloi. They are not who have just burst out on the scene, but they have been doing well. So I was having this conversation with Anurag, and we were saying actually, that we have produced a lot of good young players, but they haven't actually made it count in the biggest stage. So
Yeah.
at some point, you see that the development kind of shunts. It curbs down. So I think what the most impressive part about this has been that players like Farooq and players like Sharthak and players like Holichar and Narsari, they have taken the form from last season into this one, and they are actually improving on it. And the second part, which I can say about this, is there are some new players which we didn't see in last year. Like for East Bengal, I think two standout performers from the last game were Surchandra Singh and the guy in the central defense. Uh, I am actually forgetting
Loken
his
Mittal.
name.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Loken
So
Mittal. Loken.
Yeah,
Loken
okay.
Mitay,
Yeah.
exactly. Loken Mitay played as a left wing for Trau FC last season, and the only two positions he played is left wing and right wing. So it was extremely impressive to see these players who are utility players who can adjust them as per the need of the coach, and these young players who are coming up to the scene in this Hero ISL season. Obviously, if you look at the goal scorers chart, this is still a bit of a worry that majority of the goal scorers are foreigners, except that Anirudh Thapa and Manveer Singh, and both of them have scored fantastic goals.
Yeah.
Those two goals were like beautiful goals. But I think except that there's a mix of young players who played well in last season and are improving in this season as well, and there's also new players who have benefited from teams like East Bengal coming into ISL, and they are getting a step up from the I League to the ISL, and they are doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, and I know Atreo, I missed on a few players which I really want to talk, but I didn't want to put Shubha through that concern of talking about ATK players. But Prabir Das, Preetham Kotal, and Manveer have really impressed. And I think Sairaj got injured. I think he was someone with I really wanted to see this season. So, how do you think that these young players now, the current batch that we have, how do you think that the development is going to, actually benefit the Indian national team going forward in the future? And what do they need to do to make it count right now so that, going forward, they can be an integral part of this team in the future?
Just stepping in one bit, Prathamesh. I loved you.
Yeah.
You said you refer them as ATK players and not ATK Mohun Bagan players. I don't know how Athro will react to that, but I enjoyed that quite a bit.
No, no, it's just that just wanted to shorten that up a little, but I'm pretty sure I would rather say ATK MB or ATK Mohan Bagan. I mean, no other conflict in here. So Atreo, all on to you, man.
Yeah, yeah. So before coming to Pritam Kotal, Prabir Das, these are established guys who have done a lot of good to their names in the last few seasons. I want to mention about some people who have come from the under 17, under 19, and they have done well in the ISL this season. That is Apuya, who Shubhaditya mentioned. He captained the Northeast today. He's the youngest captain ever in the ISL history till now. So
Yeah,
today also he played really well. He allows the likes of Khasa Kamara, Luis Machado to go ahead and support Idrissa Tila and Kwesi Apia. He controls the midfield, he conducts, he drops deep, he covers that defensive line. He can be a good ball progressor when needed. So that development from the 2017 Under 17 World Cup, it has been pretty good for these players. Like last season, Akash Mishra played for the Indian Arrows. This season, we are seeing him playing for Hyderabad FC, and he has done really well in the first two games. So this
yeah,
development, which we are witnessing, is very good. But still, there are some issues up front because we have not seen that much Indian goal scorers.
yeah,
Hopefully, in the coming days, we'll see. Coming to Pritam Kotal, I think Pritam Kotal has been this has been the best start. This season, it has been the best start for him. He couldn't have asked for anything better, captaining Mohun Bagan for the first time in their ISL debut,
yeah,
and then captaining in the Kolkata Derby, first ever Kolkata Derby in the ISL, and then putting up that kind of performance against a former EPL stalwart like Anthony Pilkington. I think he did really well. He was like
Yeah.
he was nearly man of the match contender for me. And coming to Probit Das last season showed what he can do, which is whipping crosses, which is understanding with Roy Krishna and David Williams. First match it was not that great, but second he's slowly coming to that rhythm. So I think I expect only good things from these guys because these are experienced guys, but I am looking forward to the younger ones. I think they will excite me more.
Yeah, and to people who are kind of wondering if you are using apps such as SofaScore, who Apuya really is, he's registered as Laling Mavia. So in case you're confused, he's Apuya. So
Yeah, it's a
that's a
nickname.
little,
Nickname.
yeah. So that's a little
Yeah, yeah.
confusing. And you're right, Atreo. I feel the younger crop, the under 17 crop, who's rather coming in this season. I think there's someone to really I want to look forward to. I'm pretty sure you guys and all the Indian fans will be looking forward to all these young Indian arrow players doing well. Personally, for me, I'm looking forward to Vikram Pratap Singh because I felt Mumbai City FC got a really good acquisition there. And going forward in the season as the season intensifies, I think it'll be crucial to see how these young Indian players like Vikram, like Anirudh, like Kotal, I think a lot of players like that will develop and I think will be essential to the team's success this season. So, wrapping up from that we made, thank you, Atreo and Shova, for joining here. It was really good to have the Mohan Bagan East Bengal perspective as well as, the overall insight that he brought in towards the ISL. I'm pretty sure I'm happy with 80K Mohan Bagan or NSC East Bengal as long as they are in the ISL and competing and hopefully seeing, 1 lakh people witnessing the game some way forward in the future. So I know the rivalry is still raw in the ISL, but it's huge
Yeah.
history. So really looking forward here. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Prathamesh.
Yeah. So that's how
Yeah,
we
yeah.
sign off.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
all the best to Shubhadipta for the return leg.
Yeah, already looking forward to it. Tell you what, our record in derbies is better actually. I don't know. Oh, but now we have to
Yeah,
consider.
yeah,
Now you have to consider new derbies, isn't it? It is not East Bengal
Yeah.
Mohan Bagan anymore. It is East Bengal ATK Mohan Bagan.
yeah.
Yeah.
SP is
You
Bengal.
can
Yeah.
see you can see that the second derby is already getting intensified here. So on this note, I would like to wrap up here and just request our subscribers to follow the ISL because this is a very interesting season with a good start with excellent historic rivalry. A club that's found in the 1800s and probably refound again in 2020. And then East Bengal, I'm sure they would also want to mention this 2020 fact, but we go back to the 20th century instead of 2020. So thank you guys for joining the Sports Doyen. It was a real delight, and keep looking at the ISL and keep looking at our channel to watch some more related videos of the ISL and cricket content as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.